everybody, this is Walter, back with another review. This time for the Avatar EMP-16 Midi pad controller. I like this little controller. It's kind of nice. It's a little bit bigger than my hand, about twice the size. So it's got good size. Still can sit on your desktop just right, but it works just great. Let's get a quick rundown of the layout. The buttons on here, these are your transport controls over here. Rewind, fast forward, loop, record, play. You got 4 cursor buttons here. That also double when you hit your shift key for mute and solo. But in normal mode, left, right, up and down cursor buttons. And the reason why is you've got this little display window and it lets you navigate around that display window really good. And then you got a data button right here, or should I say data knob. And you can spin this left or right. It's continuous spin and it's detinted. So it's easy to lock on to a number in the Midi specification, because that's 0 to 127 or 1 to 128. It's still 128 steps either way. But it's detinted, so it'll let you lock on to a setting when you're trying to set things up. For volume, you got 4 knobs up here which can be set for anything. In the arpeggiator state, you got division, swing, gate, and synchronization. But in the drum pad mode, they can be set for anything you want. Like say volume and pan, reverb, whatever you want. Whatever whatever your software or hardware will respond to. Because this can be hooked directly up to hardware. I'll show you that in a second. Here's your shift. Wireless, because it does Bluetooth. Note repeat. Play and stop. Step. And when you hit both buttons together, it takes you into a sequencer mode so you can record right from the unit. And then you have a knob bank right here as well. Menu button. And an OK key button right there. On the top, A, B, C, D, memory bank locations. 16 level button here, which actually creates a sort of a graduated amount of velocity on these pads as you go up the numbers. And there's actually a map inside of the downloadable Avatar manual for this, PDF manual. And you can get that from the Avatar website. And cool thing about this unit is not only do you have that, but you also have a full velocity right here. And so you can do a full level right there just by clicking on that button. So if you're firing off samples and loops, no matter how hard you hit it, you get full level, 128 steps of full velocity. That makes it easy to fire off loops and samples and things like that without them being at different audio levels. Because you know, in momentary mode, however hard you hit the key, that's how loud the sound will play. But when you put it in toggle mode, when you hit the key, it keeps playing. And if you engage your full level button over here, that's going to give you the ability to tap these buttons at any level, because you're trying to think about, well, what's my next loop that I want to fire off? What's my next sample? So not having to worry about how hard you strike the pad, but just as long as you strike the pad, helps out a lot. You also have 4 faders here. I like these faders. Nice, smooth action. They're not loose, but they're not too stiff. It's like they got fluid in them. So they got a nice feel. The pads themselves, you have 16 silicone rubber pads with just enough grip to grab your finger so that you can tap, but not so much that it grabs, so you can easily slide your fingers across these pads. Works great. Let's take a look at the back and the bottom. This is a Midi input and Midi output 1/8 inch jacks on the back of here. It uses an 1/8 inch stereo pin jack, just like you would have on your headphones, to plug into these. But on the other end, it's got a barrel connection for a 5-pin female Midi DIN jack input jack on there. So it's 1/8 inch to full-size Midi jack dongle cables, and you get both of those with the unit and a USB-B connector cable. USB-B works nice. Plus, USB-B connectors are big and thick and heavy duty. So when you plug it in, if you're banging on this thing really hard, going at it, playing your grooves, that cable connection is probably not going to come loose, because it's a USB-B is a fairly deep socket connection. Over here, on and off switch. And that lets you turn the unit on and off, but there's a reason for having that. Because a lot of times with these units, you'll just have, when you plug it in, it fires up. This one has, let me flip it over, a battery compartment right here. And it looks like it takes AA batteries in that compartment, about 3 of them. And you put those in there, and you can use this with just battery power, which makes it nice. This is a nifty little unit. And another feature about this that really makes it nice that I like with all of my controllers, you get this little window on there. It's a LED window. It's called an organic LED window. It's small, but when you look at it, it gives you a nice, clear, crisp picture in black and white that you can see everything that you need to do while editing this unit. Because this unit, this Avatar EMP-16 Midi pad controller, does not have any software to set it up with. You do it from the control panels here. You hit the menu button, you get your screen pops up, and you go from there. So let's plug it in, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, MIDI cable's plugged in. Let's fire it up. Before the lights could even finish doing their little flash dance, it had already been recognized by Windows. I'm using Windows 10, and I'm using, for my sound software, my DAW, I'm using Mixcraft Pro 9. All right. Since I already set up in the process of playing around with the unit to get a feel for it, I'm going to go my B bank. Well, maybe I'll go to D bank. We'll go way out. Yep, that's definitely out of sync with what we want to do. So now, let's go in and work with the editor. But notice something right off the bat. It's a little hard for you to see, but notice when I hit the pads, you see how in the display window, that little white bar, if I hit soft, it goes down. If I hit a little harder, you see how the bar goes up every time I hit it? And it'll stay there. There's maximum hit right there. Do a soft hit, it comes back down. So this display window, even though it's a little fuzzy for you at home, I'm looking at this from about probably 2.5, 3 feet away. And I can still read everything on it. Even though the window isn't very big, it's nice, clean and crisp and sharp. So now, let's go in and we're going to set some pads and knobs up. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to hit the menu button. Because remember, everything gets programmed direct from the unit, no software required. Menu. The first thing you come up, you can kind of see there's a light bulb over here. So you can set the pad lights the way you want. And then it says menu on this side. We want the menu, but now we can use our cursor buttons here and jump back and forth. You can see that. So we got it under menu, hit enter. Or OK. That's our OK button, I'm sorry. And now we're into our first page with the pad. Because all you have to do, I can move a slider and it'll give me a fader indicator. If I turn a knob, it'll tell me that's knob 1, 2, 3, and so on. So if I hit a pad, it tells me. There's my first pad. I'm on page 1. This is for our trigger mode and a couple other press and release features. So if you can set this in a momentary mode by simply turning the dial, and it'll put in a toggle mode, and it'll give us the toggle on velocity and toggle off velocity. All these are right now are set for a default of 127 on, 0 off. So if you hit it, you get maximum velocity, because they're using, on this model, they're using the scale of 0 to 127, but that's still 128 steps, which is the maximum number in the general Midi specification. But that's the toggle mode. I can just rotate back to momentary mode. That's page 1. Let's see what happens when we go to page 2 using our right arrow button. Page 2. Alright, this is what we want. This gives us our type. We got note type, program, and CC. So we're going to go back to note type. Now, below that is the note number. Use my down arrow. I am now in the note number section for that pad. And it's in that section for all the pads, which makes it nice. So you can do setups on the whole pad without having to come out and go back in. I actually programmed a unit, worked on a unit not too long ago. Every time you set up a pad, you had to save the setting, then go back into the edit mode, and then save the setting. It wasn't difficult, but it's still an extra step that you have to do. But with this baby, you don't have to do that with the Avatar EMP-16. So I can set everything up before I save it. So now, we got that set for note numbers. And then we have aftertouch down here at the bottom for key aftertouch. But we're going after the note numbers, because you do have aftertouch on here. If you hold down a button or pad, it will just keep playing. And I can show you that. And as a matter of fact, let me just do a quick switch off to a piano. Man, that's really down in octaves, but that's aftertouch, because I'm touching it and letting go right there. But when you touch it and hold it, it's called aftertouch. And right now the aftertouch is turned on and is set for key. So you can set it for key, channel aftertouch. Those are the two options. Okay. But now let's go back to that note number, and we'll go back to my piano, get off the piano, go back to the drum sound. Okay, now let's start setting these drum pads up. Now, there's 2 ways you can do this, which is really neat, which is an option that I really like in this unit. And I noticed when I was doing an evaluation of another Avatar product, it let me do the same thing. It lets you hear as you go. So that's number 20. That's just basically right off the charts as far as drums. So I'm going to rotate my note numbers. That's 27. When I get to 35, I should hear a kick drum. Yep. 36. There's another one. Ooh, that's a nice one. Nice room kick. That one's up. Just for the heck of it, I think I'm going to go with 36. Now, let's go to the next pad. We know that the kick drum is at 36. So that means that snares are going to be above 36. So we'll go 37. That's a side stick. Snare. Right there, there's one. Let's see if there's another one on 39. Hand clap. There's another one. I like that. I like that. We'll keep those two. Now, let's go over here, and we'll go back. We got to scroll on up. Let's get to 37. I'll throw my side stick right there, and then I'm going to come over here. Since 37 was the side stick, let's back it down. 39. That's my hand clap. Now, on here, I'm going to set up my tom-toms. Now, as you can see, I can easily roll through and just pick my sounds just by hearing them, which is great. But you can also use general Midi drum map. So if I was to do that, let's set the tom-toms on this next level up. So the first tom-tom is going to be the high tom. That's number 50. So we're going number 50, number 48, and number 47. So tap the pad, and we'll spin the dial to get to 50. next pad's going to be 48. And the next pad, I think, was 45, 46. Yep. There's one more. We might as well go all the way because we got 45. And there's a floor tom there. We can put it. We'll put number 43 over here in place of that space hit. Not bad. Not bad sensitivity. Gotta hit it just a little hard, but that may work in your favor in the long run because these pads are probably going to get a little bit looser and softer as you go if you keep playing the unit for any length of time. But let's go over here anyway to page number 3 and let's take a look at this. On page 3, we've got channel. We want to keep it on channel 10, which would be right there. Or we can come down one notch, and that takes us into our curve. And we got a curve on these. Right now the curve is normal. Let me roll my data wheel. There's soft. Wow. That soft really is something. Let's back up to normal. Let's try it. What else do they have? Heavy. Oh yeah, you really gotta hit it if you gotta set it for heavy. You're a really heavy-handed player. So I kind of like that soft. But let's go normal. I don't have to work quite as hard in soft. So I'm just gonna go through and set all these resolved. All you have to do is just hit the pad to say, this is the pad that I want, and set the parameter. So now, yeah, I like that. And you just go through and you just set up all the parameters the way you want. And like I say, you can use note numbers or listen to them. All right, now I won't go through a full drum kit setup. So what I think I'll do now, let's jump over and check out some of these knobs. Let me bring up, this is my standard Midi control change messages chart. So I want to get volume. Let's do a volume and a pan for sure. 7 is for volume, where's pan? 10 is for pan. So, knob number 1, let me spin it. I gotta back up one menu, because there's 3 menus, there's 2 menus on the knobs, and 3 for the pan, for the pads. But I'm going back, and I'm going in, since this is a knob, I get the CC value, and I want to go 7. So, spin my data wheel down to number 7, right there. And then this knob, I'll turn that to activate it. That one's going to go to number 10. Sweet. Right there. And now let's see. Let me check my chart one more time, because I want to go, just for the heck of it, let's go one more. And so I got volume and pan. I want to do modulation wheel. Just for the heck of it, I'll do modulation wheel, number 1. You know what? I think I'm going to put that modulation, that's number 1. I think I'm going to put that modulation, just for the heck of it. Since we're talking a modulation wheel, I think what I'll do is I'll go, as a matter of fact, I'm going to go with F2. My fader number 2, and I'm going to set that for modulation, which is number 10. Because really, I could do it the other way around. Make this my volume, but volume knob up here works just fine. But if you want that studio feel, you could actually set each one of these. Let's double check it. Yep. Down at the bottom, I could actually set this for channel 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever channels you wanted, and use them purely for volume. But I'm going to squirrel around with it because you can set it up any kind of way you want. So we got enough set where we can go ahead and save this to our D-Paint there. So all I have to do for that is just go OK, and it said save successfully. Hit the menu button once, and we're out of edit mode. So now, and if I change it, that's a full kit. But not bad. Easy setup there. But now, we get that set. Now I set my volume, just for the heck of it, I set the volume over here too. There, I set that for pan. And as you can see, the kick drum is panning back and forth just fine. And if I move the pan button by itself, it'll show me, just by that little display window on there, which direction I'm at. That's all the way to the right. That's all the way to the left, which is really cool. So I can set it in the middle. And there you go. And then, remember we had this set for volume, so there's the volume all the way down. There's the volume all the way up. Now, if I remember correctly, now let's check out, there's a pan over there. Because remember, we originally set this up for pan. So, pretty doggone neat. Let me switch off to my piano sound real quick. Because if I remember correctly, I did have a modulation. There it is. And there's my modulation. Which is kind of neat, because if you had a real mod wheel, with modulation wheel, you set it where you want it, and then you take your hand off of it, it stays there. Pitch bend, on the other hand, is usually spring loaded, and when you let go of it, it snaps back to the center position. But with modulation, you want that freedom to have just set it and forget it. But as you can see, setting up controls on this thing is easy. No software required. That's the neat thing about onboard front panel programming. You never lose the sound. And that's what I love about this unit. So, overall, this unit, this Avatar EMP-16, I give this 5 full stars. Great feel on the sliders, great feel on the knobs, the detent, data wheel is nice, the nice click action on these silicone rubber control pads over here, 4 memory banks, 16 pads with velocity curves that I can set up individually for each pad, and all the notes and everything right from the front of the unit. The full level capability, And then you have graduated step padding, which you can also activate as well. And then you got 4 banks over here. So, and then you got your menu button and an OK button, which makes programming super easy with these cursor buttons. And then you've got the Midi in and out jacks on the back that allow you to connect right into a drum machine or Midi keyboard that has full-size Midi jack inputs on it. And then you get the nice, big, hefty USB-B connection on the back of there as well, plus battery power, Bluetooth. It's hard to beat this unit, and it comes in at a really good price. It's well under, I'm estimating high for you, comes way under $130. Way under that. So if you're looking for a nice pad that works good, that you can literally set up on the fly because you got the data wheel here and the controls here and your menu buttons and everything right there, so you can set it up, hear the sounds while you're setting it up. The Avatar EMP-16 MIDI pad controller is going to be something you should seriously look at. I like this unit. Sturdy, nice looking, works great. 5 stars, once again. Great job, Avatar. And I think I'll try to tack on a little video where I experimented with an old keyboard. I bought that thing back in the early 1990s. So it's, I think it's about 30, it's a little over 30 years old now. Some of the buttons don't work on it and stuff like that. So I was actually able to set this up so that I could trigger the internal drum sounds that it had on it just to see if it would work with the jacks, and it does. It works beautifully. So 5 stars once again, well under $130 for this unit. This is a good buy, if you ask me. All right, see you next time. Take it easy.